Hey, guess what? I guess we're live. All right, just make sure everything is working just right. Get that going. There we go. All right. Well, looks like we'll be doing a bit of a stream tonight and doing a little bit on the layout. Basically, I got a lot of things mocked up right now. So, just trying to find out, remember where all the damn buttons are here. There we go. Until people come in. Oh, how you doing, Kyle? Kyle Stevens is here, along with Dundas Junction. James, how you doing? Good to see you, man. I've been busy doing a lot of work, um, truck driving work. Also, a lot of work on the layout as well. I forgot something. Excuse me. I'll be right back. So, I'm busy printing off road systems, sidewalks, rescaling things. I just got done printing off this little tiny house. Yeah, I know it's a filament. I got to get used up. So yeah, it's peach fuzz is called. I will get it primed up and painted. I can see it printed 2 different rooms inside, so no supports on this at all. It's printed just like that. Of course, I put a rim around it because I've noticed that if I don't put a rim around it, the corners seem to want to lift up a bit. They kind of warp. So, Dave, BNSF is here. How you doing, Dave? Good to see you. So I've been busy doing things. Now I did go to my hobby shop yesterday looking for some putty. He doesn't have any. Bought some paint that I needed. All right. But I got some putty today. I had to go somewhere else to get it. Pay a little bit more for it, but oh well, I needed it because I needed to get this done because I needed to prepare everything because I've been busy today. Airbrushing. I pulled out my airbrush compressor and everything all last night, fired everything all up, cleaned the airbrush out, make sure it was good. And I was airbrushing today, getting the roads primed up, getting the sidewalks painted, how I'm going to do things. And basically did a nice little mock-up on how the road is going to look. And I did a few other things off camera, but it is what it is. I just kind of, it says, work on me. I can't say no. There goes my camera out of focus again. Freaking thing. I'm sure Go Fish Office will be joining us very shortly. So we shall see if she makes it in time. Hopefully. I will be going for a while anyways. So I picked up some more paint today too while I was at the other hobby shop. At Brookdale's hobby shop. I went there, had to get some putty because I know they got some, and picked up some 2 things of Vallejo paint, airbrush ready, so I don't have to worry about thinning it out or anything. But I might thin it out just a bit more, just to make it go maybe a little bit farther. So when I came home, after doing all my running around, I started working on the road, started filling these little lines that I don't know why the guy put it there or why it's there, but nevertheless, the guy who came up with this 3D print, I forget his name, did a pretty good job. I kind of like it. So I'll grab a road system here, and I'll show you exactly what I've done. So I picked up 2 tubes of this Vallejo plastic putty. Kind of like it. I like the application because it comes with this nice little skinny applicator where you can get into your joints and actually fill the gaps. And it's also sandable. But I didn't sand it because I didn't need to, because basically when I put it in, all right, so you see the road, you see this line in here, right here. That's, there's a groove there. So I'm not sure why that groove is there. It's probably for drawing a parking line or something down through there is what I'm figuring. So I needed to fill that up in order to make it somewhat disappear. That's where this stuff comes in handy. Okay. And this is the next step that comes in handy. And I don't need to sand it because I scraped it off tight enough that it looks like this. Okay, see that line? So I filled that in. And then I primed it with the airbrush. So I primed everything up. Now once I paint the road, that line, you'll notice it a bit, but not a whole lot. So I'll get a piece that I've already got prepared. The sidewalk's already painted. Okay, so there we go. You can still see the groove a little bit, but not as much as, bingo. Okay. So I airbrushed that with primer. And then I airbrushed this down here. It's supposed to be weathered concrete. So I'm probably going to weather it up a bit more, but you can see how the black lines still come through from printing the road off black. And then I got some rust color paint, which is going to go in right there where you see the sewer system here. And then there's the manhole cover. So I printed off a bunch of manhole covers. They're going to be painted a rusty color, so we'll see that detail in the road once it's down and fixed. So I'm printing another one of these houses. I've already printed 2 of these. I'm printing one more for a 3rd one. So, hey, not a great gamer, looking really good. Gamer says on the priming job. Yeah, it's not bad. I just basically primed it up, did a little texture painting in there just so. And of course, when I put the tape in it lifted some of the paint a little bit, not much. But, hey, we'll get that fixed because I gotta take this off, cover this up, and paint the road black, or somewhat of a black. I'm going to basically probably do another coat of primer, just one more coat, and then we'll, holy shit! Look at all of the Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. Look at it all. I even got little tiny TIE fighters. Oh, hey, gamer, yeah. I even got an X-Wing fighter. Look at that. There we go. So we've got some Imperial Star Destroyers, and then we got Venator class Star Destroyers from the Clone Wars. There's 3 of them there. Everybody likes the black one. I like the black one myself too. I think that turned out really nice. That looks real cool. So there you go. I hope everybody can hear me all right. Just let me know if you can't hear me. Just say, hey, speak up a bit more, or just say, hey, we can't hear a damn thing. So now I'm going to be going. I better bring up the chat on my phone because I'll be over on the other side and I won't be able to see the screen. I love the Imperial bottom right. Which one? The two-tone one? Bottom right. He likes this one. There we go. Yeah. This one I made in two-tone. 2 different grays. Just for shits and giggles. I did the other one too. I did the other one in gray. But I also put black there. And then the original, how it should be looking, should look like that. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad everything's coming through nice and clear. Thank you very much for letting me know there, gamer. I'm gonna make sure my sound's off on mine, or else we're gonna end up getting an echo. Well, there we go. We got the nice little chat up. Well, we did have the chat up. There we go. Chat. I'm going to switch cameras. All right, as you can see, we got the 3D printer going in the background right there. I'm going to put my phone there so I can see the chat so it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so this is a mock-up of the road that I've done here with the rail crossing right here. And we still got to put these pieces of road in. I basically put these 2 pieces together and glued them make it as one. Now I made this a tight fit. This fits in just in that little groove in the rail. Just like so. And then this fits in tight. And you got to bend it a little bit because I made it a tight fit because I wanted it to be tight. That fits in just like that. Just like so. And then we take a test car and we run that over. We made a piece on the other side, so that runs over nicely, just like that. Runs over. Real good. There we go. Now, I know I said when I was going to do this, I was going to throw this up on top of the ties. But when I did that, ran the locomotive this way, it's hitting the sidewalk. The truck frames are hitting the sidewalk. So I thought, well, that's not going to be a good idea at all. So I thought, well, it looks like I'm going to have to remove some ties from the outer rail, which I did. So I'm going to pull this section of road out. I'm going to pull this section out. You can see here, all the ties have been gone. I cut them all off. So basically, without putting any pressure on, and as you can see, this has got a little burn mark. I heated this up with a lighter and just basically sliced through it like butter. and cut all these ties off very carefully. Now, parts of the rail here was loose, was coming out. So the reason why I didn't want to put too much pressure in, because I didn't want to break the fish plate, we'll call them spikes, on the other side by pushing too hard, and all of a sudden everything starts snapping on the inside. I needed to keep those intact, so this is why I used a hot blade to cut the ties off. Once that was done, oh yeah, I was moving my finger like this along the rail. I can figure, okay, there's some loose spots here, so I thought I pulled that rail out a bit, dropped some Gorilla Glue down in this channel, and then pushed that rail back in. Now I pushed the rail back in with this, because this sits up nice and tight against the rail. And then used my track gauge to make sure the track was back engaged. And as you can see, the track is engaged. Okay, it's engaged. So I didn't lose that. So I'm going to cut a little bit off. Then I'm going to install this, and this is going to get pushed up tight against the rail. But I also had to do one more step before I can do this. I had to take some sandpaper, put it in a skinny thing like this, and sand this edge back a bit more, just to clean it up, because I noticed some of the road was kind of sitting out a little bit, and that's quite tight against the rail. I noticed that, so I did a lot of sanding. So I spent half hour sanding this whole section down to get it to where it's going to be right here. Okay, so that's going to be sitting right up against the rail, and it's going to be glued down. So now when I run the locomotive, we've got a nice clearance on the road. So I'm going to do the same to the other side, but I'm going to do one side at a time. So I said I was going to start over here. With that change, I thought, well, I'm going to do the big section. Now I've also rerouted this line here. It used to come down to here, and I moved it over. I have to move it over and get all that done. So I got that done. I'm still going to have to move it over a bit more. I thought I'll put the same bend in that I had here, and I got looking at it, so I don't like it, so I'm just going to move it over. It's a good thing I didn't really nail this track down. So I'm going to move that over. Then I'm looking for some sidewalks, because I know I said I was going to have a crown to the road, and shit changes, right? Everything changes. So I thought, well, if I cut some of this off and put there, and I really don't like that. So, I threw that idea out. Then I come across a sidewalk system. And I printed it off, but I didn't like the size. I'm going to show you why. All right, so here, we'll go back to the other camera, and I'll grab these pieces. We'll go. I'm going to go back to my desk here. Then we're going to flip the camera back. I'm going to show you why I think, geez, that's awful big for a sidewalk for a city street. Like, look. This is for industrial properties. Okay? HO scale, but industrial properties. So I thought, let's scale it down to this size. See? Which I figure looks a little bit more appropriate for a sidewalk in a city. So there we go. So we go from this size down to that size. So I scaled it way down. and there we go. So there's the big straight piece, and here's the other. So you can see the scale difference, right? So that's what I did. So this is what's going in as well. Once that road is secured down and the manhole covers are in, this will be the next step once I get all these painted up nice. Now this one has a little imperfection in there, but the paint will probably show up in the paint. But hey, no concrete sidewalks, perfect. Just like there's some imperfections in the road, which no road is perfect either. So we'll get all that done. Cheers, by the way. K&D Scrapping, how you doing? Good to see you. Dan the man. Dan's here. So that's what I have been doing. So there's a quick mock-up of everything. We'll go back to the layout. So I got some more ties to remove. So I'm going to remove a couple more ties and we'll get the locomotive out of the way. I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. I'm going to find out where the clip is to hold that's holding the track on, and I'm going to pry that out first, very carefully. Where's my other knife? That's not the knife. So I'm going to use my surgical knife here. Basically, I'm just kind of shaving and breaking that out from the track. You know that little black piece you see sitting on the rail that's connected to the fish plate? So we're going to pull that apart. Then we're going to heat up my knife so we get no pressure. And then I'm going to put it tight against the rail, and I'm just going to push down very gently. See how that? I'm going to do it again. And it just slices in with no pressure, just a little bit of pressure, not a whole lot. Just like that. Okay. Then we're going to check to see if we got movement. There's a little bit of movement there. So when I go down, I'll go down. I only go so far. And then I'll just glue that back in to its place. So there's a little demonstration of how I'm removing the outer ties from the rail. Then we take our sandpaper. We put a nice little straight edge in on there, like so. And then we're gonna go where those ties were, and we're gonna hold onto the track and put pressure on the track, and hold the rail, and we're just gonna basically sand this back and forth. just to grind back that tie even more. It doesn't take much to grind it back, and then we're going to put our road system in. And then we're going to see how tight it is against that rail compared to the other. And I'm looking for the tiniest little tiny gap. Make sure everything's uniform. See, that looks really good. So that's what I'm going to be doing all the way down on this one side. So now here are the manhole covers that I 3D printed off, which will be in a rust color once I paint them. And they'll just drop down inside this little hole here. So it's going to add some nice little detail to the road system itself. So basically, we're just going to, that piece is for down here, I cut a short one. That piece is for over here. And then we're going to put our corners in. I printed some of these off in black and some in gray. And just enough just to cover the road. So we're going to look like this. Move that down. Put another one in. Just to give you guys a general idea on how things are going to look once everything is done. But of course, I'll have to shim these underneath to bring them up this way a bit more. And, oh yeah. Now this side has a curve on here and no sewer system. So basically I'm just going to cut, maybe grind a little hole and make it look like there's a sewer system there. And I'm just going to put that there. Now, I'm going to extend this out a bit more as well. That's why we have these little shims. Basically, I want that to sit like so. And I got to do, no wonder it's not sitting right. That thing's there. Well, I'm just going to put a couple of these little shims in. Okay, my shims are disappearing. What happened to my shims? Oh well, we'll use a piece of scrap road for the shim right now. So you can see where I've cut the sidewalk off of this one. Okay, there's the sidewalks I cut off right here. The sidewalk I cut off, which I'm going to use too. And you're probably thinking, so, well, what's he going to do with that or use that for? Well, you'll find out once I get things done. So let's take that gray shim out. You can just put this block one in for now. Okay. So get in there. Now it hardly covers the road. I just basically just got it sitting on the very edge of the road, the sidewalk. As I'm measuring my distance here between my car parked along here and the big truck coming down. And that keeps this sidewalk here, which basically is a barrier, keeps it away from the locomotive. And once I put the locomotive back on the track, you see we've got enough distance there. So that's how it's starting to look. That's the look I'm achieving and trying to get. Oh, look, my little fishy is here. Go Fish Office is in the house. I got to send Fishy a link here and get her up on panel. I knew I forgot to do something. Invite a guest. Copy link. Put that over there. Put that over there. Paste that in. There we go. All right. So Fishy's got a link to join the stream here. As soon as I hear a bleep, I'll bring her up. But that's how the system is going to look. Because when I put the building up, even the building is just going to sit just on the very edge of that sidewalk. Just like that. And then that gives me enough room to put street light poles up and people walking down the street, so the sidewalk is wide enough. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, as for rail crossings, you've got a rail crossing here. And then we have the other one right here, going across the road. Now I'll get all these things out of the way. Down here, the rail crossing used to be here, coming this way. I decided to move it, and I got it right here. So that's these tracks that I made up. Okay. This was the crossing that I printed off of the 3D printer. Cut the ties out. And just basically put the track inside. Glued it in there. Then we're good to go. Now this is the same height as the cork. So basically, when you cut your cork out, so that's right up against, and look, see there? Gives you the correct height. So we've got the rail crossing down here. The other one, I got to figure out how the road's going to go. It's going to be there. And then we're going to put another one down this way. Down here. So I'm designing and building as we go. And on the very edge. And there's my little peoples. You put in there, and there's enough room for everybody to walk by and go through. Look at that. Does anybody have any questions of what I've been doing or anything? Well, we got 11 people watching. Cool. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Good to see you. If anybody's got any questions on what I'm doing, hey, go ahead and fire them off. I'm looking at the chat. I'm on the other side here. We'll just switch the camera again. Boom, 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 boom. Working on the layout. There we go. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try and answer them as best as possible. Here I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to work on my layout because it's too freaking cold in the garage. And I thought, wait a minute, it's modular. I can bring pieces and sections down and work on it here and do all my painting here, get it all put together, take it back out, bolt it back into where it's supposed to go, bring the next section down and continue on. So the next section that's going to come down is where the brewery is because the road's going to extend down that way too. So. Nice looking layout. Well, thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. I am going to be putting lights in. I'm debating. I'm not sure if this is going to be a for sure thing, but I have one of these little doohickeys here that takes a tortoise motor, that goes. Hey. I only have one of these, so I don't know if I'm just going to put crossing buckets in, or am I going to put the gates itself that actually go down. The other thing is getting the sensors in. That's going to be a job. And I'll tell you why. It's because the center of the track has already got its portion of the road already in there. And I don't want to take it apart because I glued that. That ain't coming off those ties unless you destroy the track. So we're just going to keep pulling off alone. So now it's the trick is trying to drill in the right spot between the ties to put the sensor in and get it at the right height too. John is in the house. How you doing, John? What's going on? Good to see you. John Train. There we go. John Train. John Train is here. Uh-oh. We got a camera that's not working. We got two cameras that are not working. There we go. Camera is now working. Oh, geez. I don't know why he did that. All right. So if we're going to put crossings in, so when the train goes off, it sets the sensors off. As you can see, here's what I mean. I've already got this in. This was in from the original road. Now remember, I ripped out the original road because I'm redoing it with this road system. So there's going to be crossing signals here at this intersection here where it crosses over the track. So I've got to put some signals here. And then we got to have signals here. Signals down at this end and along this road crossing in there. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 10 signals I need to buy. All right. So that's a total of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets equals 10. And then we got to put the sensors in. Those little photo eyes that got to go in. Because they got to be back far enough where they set the signal off, then the train comes, and you got to be here to shut these ones off, travel down, activate the next set, and then shut them off. This line over here will be on its own little circuit, so whenever the train comes here, we'll activate these. So now I have to make sure I'm dead center in the tie, where the two ties are, dead center in here, in order to drill through this styrene to drill a hole right through so I can get my sensors down in there and get the sensors at the right height. So that's going to be a job. So, as you can see, here's my trusty airbrush, which the cap fell off. I'm going to show you guys something that I paid quite a bit for this airbrush, by the way. Because I was looking for a real good one. Now, it came with everything that I needed. It came with an extra moisture trap. And it's a quick disconnect. We'll just go back to the other camera. And I can't remember the life of me what the hell the name of this one is, but anyways, I paid enough. I already know how much I paid for it. So we have our quick disconnect. This is a gravity feed. It's a 3mm airbrush. I also got a 5mm head for this and a 2mm spray head for this as well. This is a dual action. So you push down for air and you pull back for paint. It's a really good airbrush. It came with the moisture trap and my quick disconnect. So basically, pull that down and bingo, there we go. Now the reason why I wanted the extra moisture trap is because the compressor that I got already has a moisture trap, but this attaches to the line, so I'm going to catch more water instead of it going up into the brush and ruining the paint job. So it's basically another defense against moisture and going through your line. You know, I can't remember what the make of this brush is, but I know this whole system, and it came with a hose too. It came with everything. $250 for this thing, and it's the best airbrush I've ever had. Now I've got a red one too, and that one was $195, and that came with, and it's a gravity feed, and it comes with different size cups. So depending on how much paint, this cup doesn't come off like my other one does. So I've got two airbrushes. I still got to find it. It's still packed away somewhere, but I'm glad I found this one. I posted a slow speed challenge of 2 locomotives are the -9s, and you can customize that throughout the speed steps, so they're a perfect match. Yeah, there you go. I use Grex. Yeah, I'm not sure what I forget what make this is, but I paid enough for it, and it does the job. Very nice. Because I can control how much paint comes out. Let's see, we'll just take this little back piece off. We undo this now, we can pull the needle out, right? This here controls how much paint I'm going to come out when I move that needle too. It's also an adjustment right in here for the paint. Now I got it set exactly where I want it. It took me a little bit to figure out how to set this up right, and I got it set. Now I got my air pressure set at, and people are going to go, no, that's too high. I got my air pressure set at 28 pounds per square inch. So there you go. I tried it at a lower setting. This brush doesn't work all that great on a low air pressure. so I had to turn it up. So I turned it up to 28, and it works beautiful. Gives me nice control, uh, depending on how far back I pull that trigger, and depending on how much paint comes out. Right, so this is basically I use this for weathering too. Yeah, all this stuff I got off of eBay, by the way, is along with my air compressor. The air compressor, well, I think I paid $225 for the air compressor. I've had that air compressor for a long time. I used to use my real big one, the big loud. my my one that you would see in somebody's mechanic shop, one of those big things, which I have out in the garage. Yeah, I have one of those compressors too. I bought that compressor because I still have. I got more airbrushes. There you go. Nope, yes, I don't. Damn, I forgot where I put my airbrushes, but anyway, they're beginner ones. So only in a single action siphon feed airbrushes. So I wonder if I disturb the camera and maybe we can do a little airbrushing tonight. We can get this primed up. All right, I'm just going to see if we got that in the right spot. So we're going to do a little painting right now. Get a little airbrushing going here. All right, so there's my cheaply made painting booth. Now, I'm just trying to get that set up so you can see exactly what I'm doing without, me getting in the way, right? All right. There we go. Bring my air compressor closer. Put that down there. All right. So we got some flat black, and I'm going to have to thin it out. I'm going to have to add a little thinner to the flat black. Not too much, though. And shake it up. So we can wake up the paint. And then we've got my little pipette here. We're going to fill up the chamber. Oh yeah, I need my lid. My lid. And that's not the piece I want to paint, so let's get that up there. I want to paint this piece. It's already got the concrete sidewalk already done. All right. Now we need a little piece of tape. Because I don't want no paint on the sidewalk. All right. It still looks a little thick. I'm gonna add a little thinner in my paint because it looks a little thick still. All right, here's where my airbrush is going to come up, right? I need a paintbrush. Guys, we're going to mix up the paints, and I know a lot of guys say don't do that, but I got no choice because when I poured that paint in, it looked a little thick, even though I did thin it out. And we're going to need to add another thing of thinner because it's not dripping the way I want it. So I do what they call the drip test. So that should be good. Okay. Let's get the lid on my paint gun. I should say my airbrush. We'll get this stuff out of the way before I knock it over and make a real big mess. Gotta get my mask. Because I don't want to be breathing this stuff in, right? So, not good for you. So, get a mask put on. There we go. See, that's put in. I just start the pressure up just a wee bit more. Damn it. Paint just not quite thin enough.
Geez, you get things working good, and then all of a sudden, nothing wants to work. Hang on, we'll be back in a minute. Who's in it? I know things never work good on camera. You know how the old saying. Got things working good. When it's time to live stream, nothing works. The damn parts on these airbrushes are so small. You don't want to lose them. Because if you lose them, that's it. Your airbrush is done. Just change the nozzle. So hopefully it'll spray now. I'm just going to add some more thinner. Paint there. I think this paint's a little old. I think that's what the problem is. Let's see if we can't kind of try to wake it up. A little more thinner. The paint I'm using they're called True Color paint that you got to thin out. I tried spraying this before without adding any thinner to it. and didn't have any good success. But we'll try that for now. We'll see what happens. Put my airbrush back together here. I'm just going to spray a little thinner through the brush first. It's like my airbrush is plugged up. It ain't one thing, it's another. Don't need my mask on for this. I'm getting a little annoyed. Great. Airbrush don't want to work? Fuck sakes. Well, time to switch cameras back. Airbrush don't want to work because I got to do some cleaning.
Go figure, of all frickin' days. Oh well. No, I don't put water, I put thinner in. And yeah, here's my paint shinker. Okay. Time to tear the brush apart. That paint's been sitting around for a while, so that's probably what it is. The stuff is just too friggin' old. Take the needle out. Alright, we'll take the front of the nozzle off. Right here. There's a little piece in there that needs to come out. And it's very teeny tiny. Which requires a special wrench. Come on, you fit in the slots. Oh. Okay. That little nozzle is very small. Very, very, very small. So. Try and get what we can out. I'll have to run there. I don't have one small enough. You got paint all gummed up in the bottom of this cut. See there? See that paint all gummed up in there? That's why we have special tweezers. Look at that. See what I just pulled out of the airbrush? And don't got a pipe cleaner small enough to fit down in there. In through that hole. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna flush this out. All right, so I just flushed the brush out with water. Now we can put it all back together. That looks better now. Looks a lot clearer. I got some little cotton swabbies. The joys of owning an airbrush. When it gets plugged up, it gives you headaches. Should be good now. Now I just got to dry it out. Because now that I got everything taken apart out the front, I can run some water down and push out from the nozzle. It cleans it out. So I think I got some contaminated paint. Is what the problem is. Now the fun part is trying to put this tiny little piece, this small little thing, back in. All right, without cross-threading it. You don't want to be cross-threading it. You don't want it overly tight. Okay, you don't want this overly tight, you just want it snug. So now, be very careful. These needles are very sharp. So I'm just going to make sure this needle is good and clean before I stick it back in. I've already stabbed myself a couple of times with this thing. And yes, it does hurt. There we go. But you have to be very careful with the needle. So you just got to just get it in there and just push it in like so. So you see it come out. See that? Wait a minute. See there? Just like that. And I'll screw the retaining screw back on. I'm just going to pull that needle back just to, it's there all the way in. And just pull it back a bit. And then we're going to look, see how that needle retracts. Like so. Seeing as how there was paint gummed up in the brush, there might be a little bit of paint gummed up inside here. Okay. I just dropped it in the into the thinner. Oh yeah, look at it. All gummed up in the end there. Well, that should be clean now. Just going to put a little tiny bit of thinner in here. And then I'm going to take it and see if it sprays. And we're back in business. The brush is working now. All right, we're going back to the airbrush. Now I got it working. We will see what happens.
Great. It works.
All right, what have we got going on in the chat here? End up with blunt tips all the time. Oh, okay. I haven't heard anything anybody come in, so I don't think Fishy's going to join us tonight. She's too busy, I guess, doing other things.
Oh well. All right. Now I'm just going to check, make sure you guys can see that okay. Now that I've adjusted it. No, I don't use water-based paints. Guess I can put my airbrush back together, right?
All right, we'll let that dry. And that's all the pieces of road that I got prepared that I use the putty with. Nobody in the basement. All right. Good night, Dundas Junction. I've still got 7 people watching. That's cool. All right, so we're gonna put disconnect my airbrush. Put my primer away back in the bottom. Hopefully this one. Clean my airbrush out. One thing I gotta pick up is some distilled water. That's better for cleaning your airbrush
and trying to use regular tap water. It's a big no-no. Well, I got some airbrush cleaner, but I don't think that airbrush cleaner is all that good anymore. I've had it for a long time. So I got lots of thinner. So I'll just run some thinner through it. Just to clean up. But I like to use paper towel to clean up my cup. And then use a fresh bottle of thinner that I haven't even opened. I'll flush out the brush with. So we're going to do that. Add a little of that. Put my lid on it, give it a shake. Bring it over the hole. And we're just going to give it a shake. Okay. I'm just going to dump the rest of my paint here because I don't need to use all that up. All right. Get a little more paper towel. And the brush is clean. Nice clean bowl. All right. I'm going to do the no-no thing. I'm going to use some tap water. Not a whole lot of tap water, just a wee bit. I know. Oh no, we're not using tap water. Yeah, I am. There we go. There we go. Brush off. So we'll have a closer look at the paint I just parted. At the part I just painted. Ah, you gotta love it. You know. All right. Remember what it used to look like. Here we go. Look at that. So now we'll paint the
once this dries a bit more, we'll go over here and get that concrete there painted. And it looks like I'll have to go and get some. I'm not going to bother with that black paint again. I'm going to have to go get some new stuff. So I'm not going to trust that black paint. Because if it gummed everything up once, it's going to gum it all up again. So I got to go through all my black paint that I got and see how good it is. I might end up tossing it. I don't need my airbrush gumming up like that anymore. So, anyways, on that note, it's time for beer. There we go. So when we do the next stream, well, the next stream is going to be when I start installing that road. I think I will do some videos here and there, just quick little short updates of what I'm doing on here and the progress it's making. But the majority of the build is going to be on camera. Right now, it's just getting everything finalized, getting these little houses printed off. I might be using those too. I still got to do the roof, the windows. I've got another one. Like I said, I'm printing 3 of these ones off. Not sure where I'm going to put them on the layout, but I figure, hey, they're small enough to get a small footprint. I'll put them in somewhere, and I'll figure something out. Don't worry. If not, I can always give them away. End up bending typical. Yeah, I already read that. Yeah. I know. I've bent a few of my needles too. Here's a 0.5 needle for that airbrush, and then here's a 0.3 needle for that airbrush that I got. So, if I can find my red airbrush. My red one, I like my red one because it comes with different size bowls that you screw onto. So, all right, I think I'm going to end the stream for tonight and see how long we've been going. We've been going. Oh, geez, what? It's 9 o'clock. Well, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. So an hour and 50 minutes. Yeah, I think an hour and 50 minutes is going to be good enough for me. For tonight there, everybody. Oh, thanks for tuning in and joining me for the painting session and whatever and the screw up. No, Toy Man's brush clogged up. Let's laugh at him. Yeah, okay. Shut up. Anyways, it was all good and fun, right? All right, everybody. We'll catch you all later until did I really say that? Catch you all later. We'll catch everybody later. Because I'm starting to talk like an American. That's okay. What the hell? Can't beat them, join them. Kubra. T-U-B. Hey, Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Hope everybody has a good Christmas. We'll be live streaming before that. I'll probably be streaming maybe Christmas Eve. Who knows, in New Year's and whatnot. But you'll be seeing me through the week. So anyways, catch everybody later. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all your support. Oh yeah, where's the oh, there it is. There's the button.